Hey guys, it's Light here. Today we're going to be talking about quests in Starfield. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like, it massively helps out smaller channels like myself. Also, if you're new around here, consider subscribing. I upload daily Starfield, Fallout and Elder Scrolls content, and we're trying to hit 40 subscribers here soon, so it would really mean a lot. With all that said and done, let's get straight into the video. So like I said, I wanted to take today's video to talk about quests in Starfield and the evidence that we have of them, and what they'll be like, etc. Now, this is a Bethesda game, so it's pretty safe to assume that we'll get a few Radiant quests, aka fetch and return quests, as Bethesda seem to have a bit of a hard-on for them since, well, they started making games. Now, while these quests are normally dull and just outright boring, there have been some interesting ones. I think that Radiant quests might not actually be a bad thing with Starfield. They give you an excuse to go searching and go exploring to other places, or in Starfield's case, other planets. Now obviously I do hope that we get a lot less Radiant quests than, say, Fallout 4, but I wouldn't mind a few. Now I 100% definitely think we're going to get some kind of smuggling quest, which I'm really excited for. Bethesda have literally stated that Starfield is a quote Han Solo simulator. And well, if you know anything about Han Solo, you know he's a smuggler. Or was, anyway. So I think it's pretty safe to assume that we're going to get some cool smuggling quests. I would actually love this. Imagine being hired to take that psychotropic fish drug from Neon into another planet without getting caught to make a few thousand of whatever the in-game currency is. It would be awesome. Now I really hope that there's a smuggler faction actually, but we'll talk about that more in another video I have coming out soon about all of the known factions in Starfield. Another thing I want to mention is how cool it would be to steal whatever you're smuggling and have to pay off your debts to whoever you're smuggling it for if you bump into them again. It's thinking about quests like this that get me really excited for Starfield. Next, I want to talk about choice quests, the quests that will have big consequences. Bethesda stated in a video that there's two major military factions within the game, the United Colonies and the Freestar Collective. Now, Bethesda have mentioned that currently these two major military factions are at a quote uneasy peace after engaging in a gigantic galactic war famously known as the Bloody Colony War, apparently. Now, this all sounds fucking awesome. But this actually leads me to believe that we'll be engaging in some kind of civil war again, like the one in Skyrim. As I'm sure that many of you guys already know, there was supposed to be a lot more fallout in the civil war in Skyrim. They were actually going to allow us to create strategies, move up the ranks, become Imperial or Stormcloak spies, and have many more battles and even destroy entire cities. Now, Bethesda have never said why all of this was cut. My guess is that it's just because it caused too many problems on older consoles and PCs and technology and all of that crap. So they couldn't do it. Well, I believe that we will be seeing Bethesda's original plans for a massive war like that return in Starfield. It's not exactly a secret that Bethesda go back to their old ideas. This sounds absolutely amazing to me, and if they do this, I would be hooked on that quest straight away, and I would probably do it on every single playthrough. Now, another thing I want to talk about is if we can fly our spaceships, which we're all kind of hoping for, right? I definitely think that we'll see some kind of escort quests. What I mean by this is you'll have to like escort a person from one place to another, hide this fugitive, help this wanted man, kind of like smuggling quests, but with people and aliens and things like that. This would be pretty cool. I'd love to be able to do things like this. Maybe the settled systems are in a war like I just mentioned, and then maybe you have to help relocate people to safer spaces, which brings me to the next idea. Now, I 100% think that we're going to see a full revamp of the settlement mode from Fallout 4. Now, before you all crucify me, I happen to love settlement building. I mean, shit, I literally have a Fallout 4 Minuteman character that's rebuilding the entire Commonwealth at the moment. But I can't deny that the system needs to be improved. I most definitely think that we'll be colonizing other smaller planets, rebuilding towns and cities that have been destroyed, or just something along those lines. I think Bethesda really do need to understand that this is a gameplay mechanic that needs to be optional though. A lot of people felt forced to build settlements in Fallout 4 when they didn't want to, and it made a lot of people not like Fallout 4 as much as they probably should have. Although I will happily argue that you don't ever have to build anything besides the teleporter to get you into the Institute if you don't want to. And it is possible to just ignore it, but still. So if Bethesda adds in quests like this, it needs to be with a faction that you can choose to join or forget about and never join, you know. But we'll talk about that in my factions video coming out soon. Now I want to talk about the quest that we'll most likely be doing with Constellation, the faction that we'll no doubt already be a part of once we start the game. We are the quote last group of space explorers. Now, because of this, I think that our quest will be to find ancient alien technology, old bases, ruins of towns and cities, discover books that were once said to give us knowledge, and quite literally uncover the mysteries of the universe. Now, I do really want to take a minute to just talk about side quests. It's not really a secret that Bethesda are kind of lacking in side quests recently. I mean, if you look at the side quests in Fallout 4 compared to the ones in Skyrim, they're just not as good. What I mean is, Skyrim actually had some side quests that felt like entire stories in their own, and Fallout 4 doesn't really have that, at least not in my opinion. What I'm basically trying to say is, nearly every single piece of side content in Fallout 4 directly still somehow relates to the main story, and the quests that don't relate to the main story aren't very long. So I really hope that Starfield has longer side quests and more detailed side quests. I want to see real stories. Let's use Fallout 4's Automatron DLC as an example. While it's a really fun DLC and I loved it, I always thought it should have just been a base game side quest. It was like 3 hours long after all. I want to see more quests like that, but not DLC. Just put it in the full base game, with at least a few hours of content in them, with character development, story progression. I don't just want to see endless boring 45-minute quests that end with you getting the same crappy rewards over and over. And I know that this is kind of Bethesda's go-to, and believe me, I'm not trying to hate. I mean, just look at my profile. I love Bethesda, but it gets boring after a while. I want to see quests that give you unique rewards. I want to see quests that make you fall in love with a new story within the story, if that makes sense. I also really want to see some world eventer quests. Now, what I mean by this is just some nice relaxing fishing quests on Neon, which you can't do on other planets, or hunting in Aquila, which you can't do in New Atlantis, etc. Just small things like that are things that really build the world, and it's just so immersive, and I hope that we get some stuff like that. Now, I really want to see some bounty hunting quests, but with compelling lore and stories. Not just a, oh, this dude's wanted, go and kill him quests. I mean something like how Red Dead Redemption handled bounty quests. Maybe sometimes you need to capture people alive. Maybe sometimes it's down to you and it doesn't matter. You can kill them or bring them in alive. Maybe you can decide to let them go free. But on top of all of this, tell me what these people did. Don't just say, oh, they're a murderer. Explain it to me. Who did they kill? How were they breaking the law? Etc. Let me catch them red-handed, have them run away from me and make me chase them, hogtie them or handcuff them, and throw them into my ship and deliver them to someone. I don't just want the generic, oh, go here and murder this person, come back, tell me you did it, and I will give you whatever the in-game currency is. I'm getting really tired of that, and I would love to see Bethesda expand on it. Now, continuing with this theme of bounty hunting, another thing I would love to see added to this is don't just make it all official bounties. Now, what I mean by this is I don't just want to be doing this for the military factions, for example. Add something where once you do enough bounties, maybe you get random citizens call you on your ship asking you to go and kill somebody who hurt them, robbed them, or killed someone in their family, or something like that. Even better, let me deliver these people to whoever hired me and let the NPC do the torturing or killing or whatever it is they want to do. But anyway guys, that does pretty much do it for the video. But I want to know what types of quests you guys want to see in Starfield. I am going to start putting out more videos like this where we just talk about one particular thing. For example, I have a video coming out soon about the factions like I mentioned earlier, another one about what Easter eggs I'd like to see in Starfield, another one about character customization, and so on. Anyway, with all of that said and done, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like. Also, if you're new around here, consider subscribing. I upload daily Starfield, Fallout, and Elder Scrolls content / news, and we're really hoping to hit 40 subscribers here soon, so it would really mean a lot. With all that said and done, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.